dead when I come calling, knowing there the sky is falling. Lord, I need to know. My mind's playing games again. You're right where you have always been. Take me back to you, the place that I once knew.
Hello once again, and thanks very much for watching this special tribute that I'm calling OFD Forever, Our Friend Dan Forever. And actually I got this idea from Lisa and her friends who run the Our Friend Dan website. It's a really nice hashtag for Twitter, so keep on using it. This is a very sad Saturday night. As you can see, here's the look outside, a beautiful moon, beautiful Jupiter, and the Pleiades constellation. There's always that little cluster of stars you see grouped together. And not far from that, Orion, which is actually my favorite constellation of all, with a lot of interesting things going on. But far beyond that is the edge of the universe, and far beyond that is the Creator, who really has the final say on how things are going to go within creation. And so sadly, it was his choice to have Dan serve as an inspiration to all who suffer, especially in his condition. And as the medical people try to provide the miracle of a cure, just be aware that God is always with these people. And as we are called to always have dignity for everybody in his position, Dan lived all the way to the very end as a hero and an inspiration to all of us. And really there's no way to better live a life than to live as an inspiration, which was what he was. And especially the marriage between him and Lisa, I think that should be the role model for all of us to follow. There was nothing especially special about or supernatural about Lisa and her gifts, but she used them so wisely and just really inspiring to all of us. And so once again, thanks very much to Lisa for always being such a great role model, and we hope that you continue to be an inspiration to all of us. The place where Dan is now, every child's fantasy is fulfilled. He can do somersaults, fly like Superman through the air, and there's no limitations on his body or his mind. And of course, there's only two things that Dan's going to really miss in heaven. First of all, Lisa won't be there for another 50 or 100 years, and the second thing is the Steelers will not win the Super Bowl every year in heaven. Other than that, if he just hangs on up there and enjoys the moment, he'll be with all the people in life that he loves, as he is now with his departed sister Autumn.
Oh, I want to be in the place that I once knew. As a little child, fall into the bed of faith prepared for me. I will rest in you. I will rest in you. I will rest in you.
In every regard, this is another beautiful Saturday night in Tucson. Beautiful stars overhead. You see the planet Jupiter above the moon. Between them is the Pleiades, the Seven Sisters. It's a very interesting collection of stars, about 50 light years out or so. And Orion. It's just a beautiful day with Tucson on the horizon. But yet it's a Saturday like no other. I was very, very sad to hear on Thursday that we lost our friend Dan. I first came to know of Dan through a friend I met on Twitter with no idea that she was actually from the Dunedin area. Her name is Ariana, and really I think I first became aware of Dan, who I just heard her talk about in passing when she was very upset one morning and she posted a link to a Dunedin resident named Autumn Soiken, who was killed by a drunk driver. She was a pedestrian going home, I think early on a Sunday morning, and she was nailed by a drunk driver. And this was beyond his wife, Lisa. This was actually Dan's pride and joy, was his sister Autumn, and it really devastated him when she was lost. But the story doesn't end there. As a matter of fact, it doesn't even begin there. There is this beautiful Cinderella figure in life, worked very hard, became a doctor in the veterinary services, I believe. But either way, she has a job involving animals of some kind, a real animal lover. She was always looking around for that special man in her life, and turned out that she would meet him in Georgia, I believe. And finally, after waiting her whole life for the perfect man for her, she meets this guy named Dan. Well, Dan Soiken, I guess, was a very interesting character from beginning to end. Real practical joker, had a great sense of humor. Everybody I've met in Dunedin who knew him they just loved the guy to death, and they were so happy for him when he met Lisa. Now, I understand this was actually her first true love, a man that she just found to be a hot guy that had the personality she had been looking for. And within, I think, months, they had actually gotten plans to get married, and they did get married. And so here we are, a brand new, newlywed couple, very proud to turn to God and say, "Thank you, God, you finally gave me the person I'm meant to spend my life with." Well, that's the thought, at least, of both of them going into the marriage. Well, it turns out that a couple months after they got married, Dan was diagnosed with something called ALS. As I've said many times when talking about our friend Dan, it's something I know very little about. And at this point, you got to wonder, the newlywed Lisa, is she going to bail on this guy and let the state or the churches or the government or somebody take care of him? Or is she going to hang in there and be a great wife and live and ride with this marriage no matter where it goes? And in that, I really can't tell you enough how much inspiration I think the world should find in Lisa, because she hung in there with her hubby. Her whole marriage was watching him physically deteriorate, and all the while they maintained great hope that research underway, especially in Colorado, to develop a adult stem cell or some other way to fight ALS and defeat it would be found within Dan's lifetime. Lisa never gave up hope on that, and she hung with her man. And sadly, about a year after Lisa lost her sister-in-law, Autumn, she lost her father on Christmas Day. And finally, after all of a great marriage, in the worst of possible circumstances, medical bills piling up, there was really nothing else that science could do. But there were friends from everywhere that by then who had heard of Dan. His story had gone international, and it's with great sorrow and sadness that we hear that we've lost Dan on Valentine's Day. And what a terrible day for Lisa, both Christmas to lose her father and Valentine's Day to turn over to find her husband has passed away in bed peacefully with their 2 dogs. Well, I just want to say a special shout out to Lisa, especially. I've always said, never feel sorry for Dan. Dan was never anybody to feel sorry for him. From beginning to end, he was a winner, and that's why in 2012 we made sure that we included him among the 3 winners we were featuring as part of the Sullivan's Project's Charity Bash. The turnout for money wasn't as great as I'd anticipated, but there was a great worldwide awareness of Dan, and what a hero and inspiration he is to all of us. That was passed along by social media and through personal contact with friends. And so once again, I'm very sorry to hear that Dan has passed away. We can all sit back and say, well, this is God's will, and who's going to argue with that? And in some ways, I agree that's probably true, but still, that doesn't take away the sorrow and the loneliness that Lisa faces now. And I really hope that she continues to be an inspiration for marriages and women worldwide, and for the rest of us as well, because really she's been the role model of what the human relations should be with others on earth. She stuck with him through thick and thin, And believe me, there was a lot more thin than thick in this, from what I understand, as far as trying to deal with Dan's condition. But she did it. She had the support of friends, and she will always have the support of friends worldwide. And so once again, God bless Lisa. I'm very sorry for your loss. You know where to turn to if you ever need some friends in the world. They're everywhere. I just want you to know that. And God bless.
I once knew as a little child.
And once again, thanks very much for watching. And I hope Lisa knows that the whole world is really tremendously inspired by our friend Dan and the way he lived his life and the story that he left behind. And once again, I'm going to move heaven and earth to try to get some kind of a big panel Hollywood production in contact with you. So hopefully they can learn just how inspiring the very true story of Dan Soika is and will always be to everybody. Our friend Dan forever. God bless.
I will rest in